my name is Imani McCullough, and today I will be reviewing The Darkest Part of the Forest by Holly Black. Starting off, I wanted to read an excerpt from the last page of the book. There, a prince of the folk takes up the mantle of king, embracing a changeling as his brother, and with a human boy at his side, names a girl his champion. I want to briefly touch base with you on the author herself, go over some of the content of the books, go over my personal opinions and reviews, and then review some other opinions for you guys. We're all sort of stuck in this quarantine right now, and these past few months have been stuck on a constant loop. The days have stretched into nights, which have been stretched on into even longer days, and each of the days have sort of blurred their edges into their own identities are non-existent. When you read, it transforms your life. It transforms the scenery around you. It transforms everything about anything that you thought you knew. This book, although it is only 324 pages, it does that for you and so much more. And like all quests, I know that this book does come to an end, but that's the beauty of reading. Where one book ends, another one begins. Where one journey ends, a whole new one begins. So I just want to say that even if this book is the start to your journey into the world of Holly Black, or your journey into reading during this quarantine, during this pandemic at all, I hope that it's not the last. So keeping in mind, this book right here is a YA fantasy, so it is written for young adults in mind. I would rate it G for general audiences. I first read the book when I was in high school. It was in my high school library. It is published by Little Brown and Company. Essentially, this book journeys on a magical quest of repressed childhood memories, the ever-looming weight of magic, the ever-present passing of time, and sacrifice. I want to talk about the author a little bit. I'm going to actually read her bio in the back of this book just so that you can kind of get a sense of some of her accomplishments. Holly Black is the #1 New York Times bestselling author of over 30 fantasy novels for kids and teens. She has been a finalist for the Eisner Award and the Lobster Award, and the recipient of the Mythopoetic Award, a Nebula Award, and a Newbery Honor. Her books have been translated into 32 languages and adapted for film. She currently lives in New England with her husband and son and in a house with a secret library. There are some certain words that you may not be familiar with, such as the word changeling. So, a changeling is basically when a fae, which is a fairy, does this thing where they go into the house of humans, they take their child, their baby, toddler, whatever it is, they take it, they switch it with one of their own, so another mythical creature, whether fae or anything else, any other creature, they switch it, and they make their own child look like they charm their own child so that it looks like the human child, so that the parents can be tricked. Another phrase that you may hear in this is the folk. The folk basically are the mythical creatures. Don't actually fell, so if the angles are different, that's why. The book is beautifully written. We'll show you the consequences that follow being so mesmerized by surface level enchantments and ignoring the danger, no matter how deadly that lies beneath. Sometimes people like the idea of something more than the actual thing itself. Holly Black is one of the best when it comes to welcoming you into the world of fantasy. Diving into the actual content of the book, Hazel and Ben are a pair of siblings that grow up in a tourist trap called Fairfold. It has a small town feel to it. Unlike most places that are famous for the world's biggest ball of yarn, the children grow up making charmed necklaces that are meant to be protected instead of the candied necklaces or the ones lined with cereal that you make in kindergarten. In Fairfold, on the nights of full moons, the children are all brought into the houses very early. They have a curfew. They wear charms to school. They mix different herbs. They line their windowsills with different substances in order to keep the folk out. in this town, tourists die. They die a lot. And the people of the town are so caught up on the magic of it all that they sort of just sweep all the deaths underneath the rug. They always blame it on the tourist. But then the numbers start rising. The deaths start rising. The deaths start getting closer and closer to home. You can follow Hazel as sacrifices are made. You can follow her as the town starts to point fingers and start to decide who's to blame for all the deaths and all the wrongdoings that are going on. The folk are the ones with the magic. If anything, it's the humans that are being permitted to live. There's so much character development. Hazel, which is the main character, she's the sister. In the beginning of the book, she's kind of, you might get like, oh, she's kind of like a mean girl. You might look at her and form one opinion of her. But as the book goes on, you realize that she's not that way. She's not self-absorbed. She's just scared. Her brother Ben, in the beginning, he seems very self-involved. He seems like he is all like, he only cares about himself. And that is not true at all. He actually cares very deeply for his sister. And throughout the book, you'll sort of see that his entire life, he's sort of made certain decisions based off of how much he cares for her. And there's so many like secrets and lies and twists and turns, and the web of lies that they've told each other just gets deeper and deeper because they're trying to protect each other. There is not a single Holly Black book that I have ever read that I have not loved. I love all of her books. I love The Ironside. I love Valiant. I love so many of her books. Her books, all of them, so good. You might read one book and be like, oh, this was so good. How can the others compare? They do. Let me tell you, they do. They do. They want to talk about a few ratings that they have so that you just don't have my opinion and think, she's biased. She loves the book. I do love the book. I do love all of her work. She's my favorite author. But other people agree with me. So on Goodreads, she has a 4-star rating. On Amazon, her book has a 4.5, so almost 5 stars, which is very good considering that you can only do 5 stars. I'm going to read a part of a quote from The Guardian, who reviewed her book. Holly Black successfully merges modern teenage life with fairy legends and creates characters that have real depth that you care about. Even when describing the most mythical sections, the writing is grounded and feels real. I love this book. Amazon loves this book. Goodreads loves this book. The Guardian loves this book. The people from 32 different languages love this book. And I think you will love this book too. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Please read. Holly Black is amazing, for one. The book, the character development, the plot line, everything about it, the structuring, the wording, everything about it, phenomenal. Yeah, I hope that after going through my review, you find that you do want to read the book. I hope that it inspires you either to read this book or to check out some of her other works, maybe even both. And I just want to say thank you so much for watching.